Hello, everybody. Wow. Congratulations to Blair Hardy, Bill Wooldridge, Tyler Lake, Jason Winalstein, Dale Hartwick, Tony Hearns, Bert the Hitman Hustler, Robert Barry, Sean McKay. Fuck. I am sitting here and I am completely and totally numb. My head has been feeling like it's been getting air blowing into it, expanding the back of my skull. It's kind of funny how I'm looking like Jason Gimpy Two-Step Van Alstyne after 5 years. Congratulations to Ontario Provincial Police, ex-OPP Chief or Commander, year 2019, that drove a white Jeep Wrangler, had me shot on the corner of Bridge and Center Street. Staff Sergeants, years 2019-2021, Shannon Cork, Dave Weiss, Robert Lucas. Stacy, a mental health worker, was Napanee Daily Tea Company, now Kingston AMHS. Shelley Hafner. One known as Bill Wooldridge, a guy that lives at 149 Center Street North, Napanee. He is a stalker, he is a sex offender, a sex slave trafficker, and he's guilty of murdering my mother in 2020. Blair Frederick Hardy, guilty of attempted murder, guilty of my identity theft, which can be proven, guilty of financial thefts and frauds, identity thefts and frauds. He's guilty of prior rapes that he committed on a woman that is now deceased. He is a meth trafficker, and he is guilty of multiple murders. Jason Gimpy Two-Step Van Alstyne, crack-fed crackhead, piece of shit. He was guilty of my identity theft, guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit identity theft, identity fraud, and insurance fraud. Tyler Teabag Lake, guilty of murdering, torturing, and killing my dog Runt in 2023, guilty of attempted murder on me. Ray LeBlanc, guilty of torturing my dog with Tyler Lake in March 2023, guilty of attempted murder on me. Dale Hartwick, guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit for drop charges through OPP. Tony Axel Rose Hearns, guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit for Dale Hartwick. Injuring, torturing, skull deforming, medical blacklisting, complete total identity changes with 100% proof. Back in 2019, I was shot by ex-OPP chief before he left, and this is when it began. The one known as Bill Wooldridge of 149 Center Street North. He's approximately 70 years old. Came onto the scene and he started stalking me everywhere, and then he started stalking my mother, calling my mother mom, thinks that he is me, thinks that we were switched at birth, believes that he was my dad, and was calling my mother mom when he was stalking her. So, medical treatment refusals, medical discrimination, file falsifications by one Margie V, aka Tatiana V, Lennox and Edmonton County General Hospital. She is guilty of being an accessory to my identity theft, guilty to torturing, guilty to attempted murder and cover-ups, along with treatment refusals, discriminations, being falsely arrested and charged to cover up crimes from doctors and everyone else who are criminally involved. Dr. Hadley, Dr. Barton, Dr. Pritchard, Dr. Waldron, and 3 triage nurses, ex-CEO Covey Duck, and Patient Relations are all guilty of being accessories to injuring, torturing my full deforming identity theft, which I can and have proven, while keeping me medically blacklisted to cover up the crimes that they are guilty for. I spoke OPP crimes after I was shot. I was medically blacklisted. Lies about me about being a suicidal self-harmer, not true in any way, shape, or form. Lies about drugs I do not do. I am against them. I don't even drink alcohol. Lies about having long criminal record and history that I do not have. I do not have a criminal record or history and no association with any cop's name prior to being shot, and talking about the human trafficking and the homeless exploitation for monetary gain and the sex slavery trafficking from the Morning Star mission and other crimes that were taking place. My body has been mutilated. How OPP are human trafficking, sex slavery trafficking, falsely arresting their victims for pictures, prints, signatures so they can commit forgeries, framings, and frauds against them. The lies, the time buying, the arrest refusals, the false arrest, the extortions, the kidnapping, the sex assaults, the lies, the time buying, using doctors to aid criminally and negligently in co-committing and covering up while keeping me medically blacklisted to assure this and aid in your crimes. My fucking hair is turning fucking red. Congratulations to Tony Axel, Rose Hearns, and Dale Hartwick, to Jason Gimpy, Two-Step Van Alstyne, to Blair Frederick Hardy, to the piece of shit known as Bill Wooldridge. He also goes by Bill Cooldridge, Bill Delarosable, Stephen Mabin, Robert Cross, and James Bubbles. He has many alias names because he truly don't think I really don't think he truly knows who the fuck he is. He's also allegedly associated to serial killer Russell Williams as well. He's from Picton, Ontario, allegedly. And he is also allegedly Hells Angels Ontario chapter captain. He is a heroin addict, and he is a piece of shit sex offender, pedophile, child stalking, child molesting garbage. Blair Frederick Hardy rolls into Napanee in a Mercedes and goes to the Morning Star mission, and the next thing you know, people end up getting injured and tortured when people are disappearing in Napanee. It is through the police, it is through doctors, it is through the justice of the peace, obstructions, accusations, intimidations, and threats. Refusing private prosecution against anybody, refusing to see any proof, making accusations stating I was high on marijuana, and hallucinating being sodomized. Because who involved? Jason Gimpy, Two-Step Van Alstyne. He is the one dealing laced fentanyl and committing homicides within Napanee and Kingston through the hub. He is possibly guilty of another homicide or being involved with one in 2021. He is guilty of attempted murder of me and my full physical identity theft after 5 years, and I can prove that by whom, how, and why because of me. Speaking of the police crimes, medical blacklisting, treatment refusals, once again the lies, the time buying, the cover-ups, being completely and totally fucking deformed in every way, shape, and form, and proving it and showing it. Doctors calling me a delusional, hallucinating retard over it. Dale Hartwick, he's aiding in this, doing this for OPP. They are all rat informants now. They are drug traffickers with him for Robert Kane. And every single one of them are guilty of attempted murder on me with intent to commit for OPP revenge. Once again, Bill Wooldridge, Blair Hardy, Tyler Lake, Jason Van Alstyne, Dale Hartwick, Ray LeBlanc, Bert the Hitman Hustler, Robert Barry, his boyfriend Robert, Dale Hartwick, and Tony Axel Rose Hearns. They're all crackheads, meth heads, speed heads, fentanyl dealers. They are all gay, they are all highly obsessed, and they are all committing homicides for OPP benefit to get away with their crimes, to aid them in getting out of their fucking crimes that they are guilty of. Being surrounded, hands on guns. As I'm doing this right now, I'm having serious problem talking, and I'm having serious problem thinking, because the whole right side of my head showing up on your left is completely and totally fucking numb. I have no feeling whatsoever, nothing. It feels completely and totally dead, besides air getting blown through it. Kind of funny how I am a 52-year-old man and I'm looking like Jason Gimpy Van Alstyne, a fucking untouchable, unarrestable piece of shit with and for OPP. Cannot be touched without $22,000, but it's kind of funny how I'm looking like this piece of shit with 100% proof. I am also the end of my bloodline too, so OPP, Van Alstyne, Hartwick, Hearns, Lake, Hardy, and the rest, you're all guilty of murdering the entire Wood bloodline by doing this to me as well. Whether you fucking think so or not. You are guilty of multiple murders for this. You killed my mother for this. You tortured and killed my dogs. You kept me medically blacklisted with a lot of lies and labels against me to prevent me any kind of help and proof. This is what has happened to me, how is people are going murdered and missing. They're being human trafficked, they're being sex slave trafficked, they're going through identity thefts, and they are being fucking killed while these pieces of shit are assuming their identities and committing not only identity thefts, identity frauds as well. And that's what this is about, because they are fucking junkies and they are looking for more money for drugs. No matter what I have done, my human rights, my legal rights, my medical rights have been taken from me. Once again, ex-OPP Chief or Commander, year 2019, you are guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit for 1 Jason Gimpy, 2 Step Van Alstyne. Staff Sergeants, years 2019, 2021. Kidnapping, sodomy, sex assault, and kidnapping, and guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit through Jason Gimpy Van Alstyne. Shannon Quirk, you are guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit for Jason Gimpy, 2 Step Van Alstyne. Dave Weiss, Robert Lucas, you are guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit for Jason Van Alstyne. Stacy, the mental health worker, you are guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit for Jason Van Alstyne. Shelley Hafner is guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit for Jason Van Alstyne. Also kidnapping me May 27th, 2021, 24 hours after asking for help with what is happening to me. And that was done in an attempt to shut me up. That was done in an attempt to get me kept under false pretenses of incompetency, using that bullshit through a Judge Chappelle in Kingston, Ontario. They're accomplices, they're co-offenders, they're drug traffickers, they're rat informants. They're sex offenders, they're sex slave traffickers, they're drug traffickers, and the ones that they are using to commit murder for them: Dale Hartwick, Tony Hearns, Robert Barry, his boyfriend Robert, Blair Frederick Hardy, Bill Woldridge, Tyler T-Bag fucking Lake, Jason Gimpy, 2 Step Van Alstyne, and Ray LeBlanc. Each and every one of these pieces of shit need to be arrested. And they need to be charged. And if I had the $22,000, I would definitely be making it happen. This is what happens in Napanee when you speak up of police crimes and you try to save lives. They don't like that. So, with 100% proof, I can prove my 100% identity theft. And these pieces of shit are guilty of it. Every single one of these fucking meth, crack, fentanyl using garbage fucking speedhead lowlives who work with them for OPP, they're untouchables. Why there is so much crime in Napanee is because they are ran by Blair Hardy, Bill Wooldridge, and the rest named the Hardy Boys. Why nobody can get arrest done? Because they are seriously criminally involved with a lot of the crime that's taken place in Napanee. Jason Gimpy Two-Step Van Alstyne is a homosexual. He is a crackhead and he is guilty of attempted murder. Axl Rose, Tony Hearns, guilty of attempted murder. Dale Hartwick, guilty of attempted murder with intent to commit for drop charges and free speed from OPP. They're doing this to me through what is called remote neuromonitoring, and that's what I was shot with by ex-OPP chief back in 2019. And that's when the medical treatment refusals began, the lies, the cover-ups, and everything else against me. And the pieces of shit are lucky that I cannot go to a hospital. They are lucky that I cannot get medical help. This has been assured to me by Margie V. One way or another, these people have to be arrested and they have to be charged. Because it won't happen in Napanee through the OPP because they work with them for these bastards and they are the ones responsible for doing this. I am soon going to disappear, and I say that without any kind of paranoia because of what has happened to me with 100% proof. So, if they're doing this to me in Napanee, how many others is OPP and the doctors have done this to and covered up sex crimes, torture crimes, complete total deforming, full physical identity thefts, and using these pieces of shit to do it for them? Remember this, because I guarantee you, because nothing can be done against these pieces of shit. I, my mother, my dogs were not the first, and we will not be the last, because they know now that they can get away with homicides because they work with them for the cops, and they will be paid for it and be getting immunity along with the rest. I hope this is seen and taken serious. Hartwick, Hearns, Lake, Van Alstyne, Hustler, and the rest of you meth-fed crackhead pieces of shit, this is done to me, and one way or another somebody will and has to fucking answer for what is done. When you speak OPP crimes, you go through fucking full physical identity theft from these fucking pieces of shit. How many bodies are at fucking Quinny Detention Center that OPP had killed and covered up? How many have you slave trafficked? How many identity thefts have you actually committed and had covered up? Through hospitals, through doctors, through your badges, your positions, your lies. It is September 19th, 2024 at 6:09 p.m. And I don't have much time left, and I'm not saying this with any kind of paranoia. I'm saying this with 100% proof. My brain, my fucking head has been traumatic, that much trauma done to it for the past 5 years. I'm surprised I am still actually fucking living and able to do this. My face, my skull changes completely on a fucking hourly basis sometimes. With proof. Love all, hate none. I am Chris Wood. And congratulations to Ontario Provincial Police, the ones named. They are very seriously dangerous. Congratulations to the hospital and doctors, the medical treatment refusals, the discrimination while being criminally and negligently involved in co-committing and aiding and covering up crimes for themselves and everyone else involved in Napanee, along with the junkie, meth-fed, crack-fed, fentanyl fucking heads and speedheads and dealer low-life pieces of shit. You speak OPP crimes, this is what happens. My mother was also killed and so were my dogs tortured.